Good evening and welcome to the City of Cedar Falls Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, October 11th. We'll call the meeting to order and have a roll call.
Alberhatsky? Here. Chrisman?
Here.
Gribovich?
Here.
Hartley?
Here.
Larson? Here. Leeper?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Moser? Stalnaker?
Here.
One absent tonight.
Great. Okay, we'll move into approval of minutes from the September 13th meeting.
So move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, we'll move into public comment. Anything that is not on the agenda this evening, you can come up and make a comment. Seeing none, we have no old business, so we'll have new business this evening. College Hill Neighborhood Design Review of 2121 Walnut Street. And Chris, take her away.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, commissioners. So we have an application to redo the facade of 2121 Walnut, which sits in the College Hill overlay. And because it is a significant improvement, that requires a review and approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council. And just take a quick look at what they're proposing. Just so you know, it is at 2121 Walnut, and it sits about 2 blocks from campus. So due to some structural issues identified by the city's building department, that's what initially had prompted this application. And this is just a quick look at the existing facade. It has a masonry base and some architectural features akin to porches of the era when this was built, which was in the actually late 1800s. And there's also currently a sleeper porch on the 2nd story. That was added later. And it's one of the things that had triggered this concern, creating the structural issues. The sleeper porch is proposed to come off. I don't know if you can see very well on the screen, but it is coming off. In its place would be two windows that are vinyl construction, and then a roof over the proposed porch. The actual footprint of that porch is going to be the same or similar to what is currently on there. And just a quick review of the materials on there. The roofing materials on the porch will match the roof of the house. The porch fascia materials will utilize either a white composite or a white aluminum covering. The white columns will also be aluminum with an ornamental styling and have the load-bearing capacity necessary to hold up the porch roof. The flooring will utilize a composite Trex board for that floor. And the fascia and skirting of the porch floor will also utilize a white composite Trex board and lattice, which presents well to the street. The specs and details of all of those materials were in the packet. There are also handrails and railings that were required by the building department, as their requirement is any porch that is raised more than 30 inches requires a railing to go around it, and so that's what they're proposing. Another thing to note is that previously, the way to access the porch came from the side instead of the front. So this is actually changing that so that there will be a walk or a sidewalk that approaches from the front, and a railing that comes down those stairs off the front as well. So with that, staff recommends approval of this case, this design review application. For the front porch and siding, which I guess I did not mention siding. There's a vinyl siding of a slate kind of gray material that is proposed here. the look of which is not dissimilar from the siding that's on there currently, just a different material.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for staff? Would anyone from the applicant like to speak to this item? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission for conversation or a motion.
I think it looks like welcome improvements. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, we will take a vote.
Alberhaski.
Aye.
Gribovich. Aye. Hartley.
Aye.
Larson.
Aye.
Leeper.
Aye.
Lynch.
Aye.
Stallnaker.
Aye.
And me, aye.
Oh, did I skip you? Chrisman.
Aye.
All right. We will move next into a Highway 1 commercial site plan for 703 Brandy Lynn Boulevard. And Michelle, go ahead.
Thank you. The parcel is located at 703 Brandy Lynn, and that is south of Dress for Less, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, and the Dollar Store. Collins Community Credit Union and BioLife are to the south, and Walmart is to the east. This application has come before you in 2021, and they have changed their proposal since then. They have removed the drive-through that was be located in the rear, and the building size has changed a little bit to 8,468 square feet. They're proposing 69 parking spaces, a dumpster enclosure. They're keeping the accesses the same, following the access easements that are part of the plat, including 6 bicycle parking spaces. And as outlined in the staff report, the proposal meets the setbacks, open space parking, signage, and the use allowed within the Highway 1 district. The Highway 1 district has special and additional landscaping requirements, and as listed in the staff report, the application has also met those requirements, including the landscaping for the interior parking lot and screening for the parking lot. And as part of the proposal from 2021, the facade has changed slightly as well. So all the retail spaces now have one similar plane. They're proposing a one-story building with a flat roof and additional parapets. The applicant proposes building materials to be a variety of fiber cement siding and espresso and pecan, and pad-clad aluminum panels with still white. They're also proposing a vintage black veneer brick. As outlined in the staff report, this also meets design standards in the highway district. And with that, since we have seen this before, staff is recommending approval for the proposal, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Michelle. Any questions for staff? Anyone from the applicant that would like to speak to this item? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission.
Since it has vintage brick, I would move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Let's go ahead and vote.
Alberhaski.
Aye.
Chrisman.
Aye.
Gribovich. Aye. Hartley.
Aye.
Larson.
Aye.
Leeper.
Aye.
Lynch.
Aye.
Stallnaker.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Great. Any commission updates, Karen?
The only thing I would note is I just wanted to mention that the Midwest Regional American Planning Association conference is in Cedar Falls, and that's going on today, tomorrow, and Friday. So you might see roving bands of planners around the streets of Cedar Falls. We are giving a tour of the downtown tomorrow, so we're hoping everybody use your mind powers to hold off the raindrops. So we like to showcase the best of Cedar Falls. So we're very excited to have that conference here in Cedar Falls.
That's great.
I'll do a reverse rain dance.
Okay, very good.
It's not going to look good.
Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
I have a staff question, or maybe a request. I was wondering if it would be possible, whether it be part of a meeting or maybe informally separate from the meeting, but with enough new commissioners, I thought it would be really helpful to clarify kind of the role of what we do as a body and individually from a procedural standpoint. My motivation for bringing this up, I guess, is that what I've kind of seen recently is a little bit of a deviation from the expectations that were laid before me when I first started years ago. And in particular, both in staff coaching and in a workshop I attended, it was advised that anytime that there's a vote, you cast a vote disapproving something, that there should be a legal reason cited for it. I got some outside advice finding out if that is a state requirement or if it's just a good practice. And as I've done some learning of my own, I've realized that a body like this has a lot more subjective autonomy than I always thought coming into it. And anyway, I just thought it'd be good to get into some of that stuff.
Yeah, we certainly could put something on the agenda. We have maybe the city attorney would like to address those questions. I think generally it's a question about whether it's a case that is legislative, like a rezoning, versus what we consider quasi-judicial, like you're acting as a judge. So some of the rules change a little bit, and I think in general it's a good idea just to give an applicant knowledge of why you're disapproving something is always good practice. Whether it's legally required, it really is dependent on the type of case it is.
Yeah, and that's something I've found kind of interesting in my brief tenure here so far, is that that the roles that we have are kind of dual-faceted in the sense that sometimes the discussion that we have is in a legislative nature, where we're advising on policy and considering long-term ramifications. But a lot of the regular business seems to be more quasi-judicial in nature, where we're, as a system of checks and balances, making sure something makes sense and complies. And so I think it'd be helpful to have some clarity on that going forward. I like the idea of having Attorney Rogers do some kind of a presentation.
Yeah, he'd either do a presentation or he can write a memo and we can put it in your packet, and then if you have questions. And so I will talk to the city attorney. And
If a presentation is agreeable, I kind of like that idea better, just because then that way anybody that's interested or sees it on the agenda can be aware for posterity.
Sure.
I think that'd be a helpful tool for the public.
Okay, I'll make that request.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Have a lovely evening.